Record, there we go. All right, so official welcome to everyone tonight. This is our last class in June. And as I have mentioned, we will maybe do some pop-ups in July and August, but otherwise we'll be back live hopefully in September with no restrictions. That's what I'm hoping anyways. Okay, so here we are tonight. And as I said, I'm going to focus the class on sleep. So it's going to be a very relaxing, restorative type class. If you have pillows and blankets nearby, just, or you don't have them nearby, just run and go get a few pillows or blankets so you can support yourself in some way. Okay, so let's just start with our normal sitting. Move your fleshy tissue, find your seat, get some space between your hips and your ribs, roll your shoulders back and down. Lengthen through your cervical spine, through your neck, and just feel the top of your head. Reaching up gently towards the ceiling. And then we tend to have a tendency to lean forward, but I want you to lean back. And then imagine your tailbone. I think of it like a woodpecker, you're trying to push the tailbone down into your block of wood or whatever you're sitting on, so that the pelvis is neutral. And then close your eyes. Just take a minute to sense and feel your body at this moment. Just scan your body from the top of your head down to your legs and just acknowledge anything, any part of your body that's calling to you. So like right now, my right knee is calling to me. So I'm just gonna acknowledge that. And then shift your awareness into your breath and just watch the inhalation and the exhalation. Just observe how you're breathing at this moment. And maybe if you're breathing more on one side of your body than the other. Good. And then we'll take our hands to the outside of our ears for our traditional mind focusing, heart focusing exercise. Take a minute to just sense the energy between your hands. I'll always go back to this whenever I'm feeling scattered or having that monkey mind. And then draw the energy forward and bring the energy down to the heart. And do that 2 more times. Don't rush this action. Stop and feel the energy. Have your fingers together. Push the energy forward to the front of your face and down towards the heart. Then bring your hands to the outside of your hips. Draw the energy forward. And bring your hands to your heart. And you'll do that 2 more times. Remember, this is your first and second chakra down at the hips. And this is where all your, if all your basic needs aren't being met, then sometimes the chakras can go out of whack. And this is all about feeling safe in our space, in our homes. So do that 3 times. And then we'll take our hands to the top of our head and have your right hand on top of your left. Your fingers touch the top of your head, and then your right hand goes on top. And then you make a big circle. Make a big circle around your body. And then turn to the right and make that circle again, just so that you're thinking that you're in a sphere, that you're making yourself sit in the middle of this beautiful cocoon. of light and energy. And then bring your hands to your heart, just visualizing this space, this safe space that you're in, where all negativity bounces off of you and all positive feelings and emotions are absorbed right into your space. So it feels very warm and cozy and safe. Safe is the word of 2021. You're going to hear it a lot. And then exhale and release. And we're going to take a blanket or an extra yoga mat that you have, and we're going to roll the yoga mat up into or the blanket into a little roll. So it's a little sausage roll. You're going to place that onto your mat. And I want something underneath your knees. So if you don't have a bolster, if you have a bolster, put the bolster underneath your knees. So grab my bolster and I put that here. But if you don't have a bolster, I really like the blocks. And I've showed you in a previous class how to kind of put them on an angle like this. And if you put them on an angle, when you put your legs over, they just support your legs quite nicely. So either one, bolster. If you don't have a bolster and you'd rather use a couple blankets, just something you can roll up, just make a bigger roll, or maybe something from your living room. Now, the roll is going to go right on the shoulder blades. So the top of your armpit will be at the top of your roll. If you can see here, top of my armpit. You know what? I'm going to take this, sorry, I'll take this black sweater off because I'm blending in with the furniture here. Okay, so here you see, I've got my arm right at the top. Now, if you're really tight, oh my gosh, I've been over at the computer most of the day today when I wasn't working. And so I feel like it's a little ways down from my head. I might need to take another block or a blanket. I got another blanket here and place that underneath my head until I start to release, and then I might be able to take it out. Okay, so here's this is our homework for anybody who's been sitting over the computer. Let's just get, now we're going to close our eyes. And just take a minute to allow your body to sink. If your neck feels short, then take your thumbs under your occipital bone and lengthen, and then bring it back down. Now, as you're breathing in and out through your nose, I want you to focus on the rib cage here. And I want you to think about the rib cage expanding on the inhalation and contracting on the exhalation. And just watch and observe your breath. Watch and observe the rib cage, either the movement or the lack of movement. Okay, so that was 20 that I counted, 20 inhalations and 20 exhalations. So just bend your knees, place your feet on your bolster or your blanket, and then roll away and take your support away. You're going to take your 2 blocks now, and you're going to take one on the long side and one on the high side. The long side is for your shoulder blades, upper thoracic spine. The tall one is going to be for your head. So again, you'll sit down. If you take those of you who wear a bra, it would be the bottom of your bra strap that's at the bottom of this block, so closest to your feet. And then you are going to lengthen the body from the pubic bone to the collarbone. And again, you can take your hands behind your occipital bones, lengthen your head away, and then support it wherever it is comfortable on your second block. This time the arms are going to come out to the side. There is no reason that you have to straighten your legs. You can, or you can take your feet a little bit further apart and let your knees fall towards each other, collapse towards each other, so that you're not gripping to hold anything. And again, now you're getting this from pubic bone to collarbone, and you're also getting this across the chest opening. And if you take your arms out, palms up, then you're also going to, further widen and broaden through the collarbones, which is really important. We are again breathing into our ribs here. This is where the focus is, rather than on the belly. And it's like the ribs expand on the inhalation and draw back in on the exhalation. And again, I'm going to be counting about 20 breaths. If it's too much for you, you can always drop your blocks down to the lower level. Small and slow inhalations and exhalations. I said small, it should be really long, slow inhalations and exhalations. If at any time it doesn't feel good or it's too much for you, then feel free to come out of the pose when you're ready. Okay, and then again, I counted about 20 breaths. We're going to again shift over to the side. This time we're going to take the blocks away, or whatever we have there, and just lie flat on the floor. Just see how you feel. Sense and feel what's going on in your body. We're going to do some pumping now. So you're going to ground your heels. And if you watch my feet, you'll see you ground your heels and then you just move your feet towards your head and away, your toes. And so the whole body just kind of, it moves and it jiggles and wiggles. You might even find your head nodding. And that's pretty good if your head is nodding. It just means that the flow of energy is going all the way up to the head. So, we're doing this for our lymphatic system, moving the water in our body. It's actually what you do when you get a massage or a treatment of some sort. You're moving the fluids in your body. And if your legs become tired or your calves become tired, because you are exercising here as well, you can just take a little break and then start again. Just like really let yourself breathe and exhale. And enjoy this time that we're giving ourselves, this self-love, really, the self-care. We're so busy sometimes that we neglect our body and ourselves and doing what's best for us. All right, and then we're just going to stop. Just stop when you're ready and take a minute to sense and feel. Okay. Now we're going to bring our knees up towards our chest and hug them in with your hands. You can interlock your fingers like I'm doing right here, or just put one hand on one knee, on each knee, whatever feels good. And if you feel like, this isn't comfortable for you and you'd rather use a strap, go ahead and do that. And we're going to rock from side to side. And it's not important to rock a lot. You're just moving, and it can be tiny. You can go all the way sort of to one side to the other of your hips, of your hip bone, or you can just go like really, really small, just a little bit of movement. And just let your legs sort of help you navigate that movement. And then them come side to side. And as you breathe, just think about letting any stress or tension that you're holding in the lower back go. And that's why I'm not telling you to jam your knees up towards your chest. Just hold them gently, because that way the sacrum, the lower back, is on the floor. Good. And then hold your right leg and let the left leg just drop to the floor. With this right leg, you can hold it with one hand if you want, or even with both, and you're just going to do some circles. And I want you to start off really small, really, really small circle, because I don't want to hear any clinking or clunking. Of course, I'm not with you, so I can't hear your clinking or clunking, but I can hear mine if it begins to happen. So I'm just going in some small circles. And then I might go a little bit bigger. I might even let my hand go away from my knee, and I might do some little, but only if I can keep my knee really relaxed. See, when you take your hand away, yeah, actually, you know what? It's better to have your hand in there as a bit of a weight, because when you take your hand away, you tend to like tighten up a little bit. And we just want to be really focusing on relaxation here, just letting the leg go, as if somebody was doing it for you. And those of you who have had a Thai massage with me, I do this rotation of the leg all the time. And sometimes I bring a big circle, and sometimes I do a small, depends how you feel. So you're doing that sort of to yourself. And then reverse the direction, go back to small circles, start small and reverse the direction and go the other way. So I was going clockwise, I had to think about that. Now you're going to go counterclockwise. So whichever way you were doing. And be aware of what you're feeling in your sacrum and your lower back as you do this. But let the hip relax. And the more I let my hip relax, and the leg relax, the wider the circle kind of gets on the outside. All right, and then just drop that leg down and then slide it to be straight and bring the other knee up. Hug it in first to your chest. And just get a gauge, move it a little bit and get a gauge. You can even rock it a little bit and get a gauge for how tight or loose the hip joint is. And then start your little circles. So again, I'm going clockwise first, and I'm just trying to move just my leg and not let my whole hip be involved in this. This is just an action of the femur bone moving in the hip socket. And then I let the circles get a little bit bigger and bigger. I might even try again without my hand, but oh yeah, I find without my hand, I'm definitely holding or gripping a little bit. So I like the pressure of my hand on my knee. Okay, and then come back to your starting point and let's do it the opposite way. So counterclockwise, if you're like me and did the first side clockwise. And start off with those small circles. And get bigger. If it feels comfortable and there's no clicking, you don't have to get bigger. Just let the leg, think relaxation, think on your exhale, letting it go. Go with the breath. And just, oh yeah, as I exhale, I'm just letting it go. Good. And then bring that leg down. Take your left leg and bend the knee and place the left ankle on the right thigh. And again, if you need a strap for this next part to hold the leg up, go right ahead. But you're going to lift the leg, the left leg towards your head, interlock your hands behind, and you're going to straighten the left leg. So we're doing a 4 pose. And again, if you feel like you need something underneath your head, now the action here is not big. It's actually a rotation of the ankle. So you're just going to rotate your left ankle, and you can go, I seem to be going counterclockwise on this one. First, I'm going to do 8, but I don't like you get stuck up on counting because I want you to kind of relax and breathe through this. And then I'll do 8 the opposite direction. Good. Now you're going to bend the left knee so that your left leg is parallel to the floor. Let your hands go from behind your left leg, but grab your left knee and pull the left knee towards your left shoulder. Sorry, I just screwed you up there. The right knee towards your left shoulder. Okay, so, and you're hanging out here with this other leg, and you're bringing this right knee towards the left shoulder, and you're just hugging in. And the sacrum stays on the floor. So don't let your pelvis roll up. Don't let your pubic bone come up towards your head. Keep your sacrum level on the floor. And you're going to hold this action. The knee coming towards the left shoulder, the right knee coming towards the shoulder. Now, what you can do if you want to just release some fascial tissue on the IT band and the piriformis is push your hand into your knee and your knee into the hand, count to 5 or 8, minimum 5, and then release, and then see if the knee comes a little bit closer to that shoulder. Good, and then you're going to just exhale and let that go. You're going to drop your foot now to the floor, and you're going to take your arms out to the side and let your right foot fall to the left on the floor for a lying down twist. It's kind of a different twist. I like to put my left hand on top of my right knee and then draw my right sit bone away from my right armpit or my right shoulder. And you can look away from your legs, and breathe. Again, focus on the rib cage. And if you are noticing that your fascial tissue, that your muscles are tight, or your fascial tissue that surrounds the muscles are tight, that means you need to do more therapy ball work. So think about that over the summer. What does my body really need? So if we want to have a good night's sleep, we need to focus on poses that release tension in the body, wherever you're holding it, and also that focus on the breath, because we want to get into that parasympathetic. Okay, bring your legs down, come out of the pose, bring your legs down, and realign your body, because you might have gotten a little crooked there with that twist. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So the left ankle comes up. We bring our right leg towards us, interlock the hands behind, if that works for you, and straighten the leg. And we're doing rotation of the ankle. What does the ankle have to do with anything, right? But we're on our feet all day. So not only is this a bit of an inversion, so the blood, you're giving the chance the blood to flow, but also away from the foot. And but also, yeah, we're on our feet all day. We use these muscles and these joints. Let's just give them a little bit of a thing, a little bit of release and some movement that you don't normally do. Okay, so I went 8 one way, 8 the other way. You can even shake it out a little bit, which I didn't do on the other side, but that's okay. And then bring that leg parallel to the floor. Take your hands from behind and bring your left knee towards your right shoulder. So this is where you might discover that your piriformis is, I've been doing a lot of walking, hiking, bike riding. It's all in my piriformis. Okay, so again, get the therapy ball out. And then we're bringing that left knee towards the right shoulder and just holding it and breathing. Breathe into that wherever you're feeling this stretch. And if you focus on that area and the breath at the same time, you're really sending the breath into that area and asking it to release. So then we can do a little bit of a push-pull on this leg. I've got my right hand on my left knee. I'm pulling my knee towards my right shoulder, but then I'm pushing the knee back in outward. So back towards the fingers on my right hand. So I'm going to hold that for 5 to 8 seconds. That contraction of sort, and then release it and just draw the knee closer into the right shoulder and just see if that helped a little bit. Release some of that fascial tissue. Good. Release your hands. Let your left foot come down on the right side to the floor in this lying down twist. And again, take your right hand on the outside of the left leg. Same piriformis in there that you might have felt earlier. And you can look away from your knees if your neck feels good. Otherwise, just look straight up. And again, just focus on your breath. Breathing, relaxing, letting go. And then slowly release. Bring your legs back down to the floor. Straighten out your body. And take your knees, or sorry, your feet and your knees actually about hip width apart. And just do 1 or 2 on each side. Let's do 2 on each side, windshield wipers. Just let your legs fall to the right and the left. All right, and then come back to center, roll over onto your side, whatever side works best for you, and come on up to sitting. Now, just find, again, your block or a bolster to sit on for a second. We're going to just do a little press and release of an acupuncture point that also helps for sleep as well. So I'm going to turn around just so you can see the back here. And it's this, you're going to find your occipital bone here, and it's just the hollows on each side. And you can actually put your hands like this, and you're going to push your fingers into that occipital bone. And you're going to press, and you can even do little circles if you want, but the most important thing is that you press and then you release. And then you press, hold, and release. So don't go too fast. Press and release. Press, release. You want to do it actually about 10 times. And just a reminder, on YouTube, I have a video that we did for anybody who's sitting over a computer. We give, or anybody who needs to improve their posture, particularly neck and shoulder, we're giving a little practical exercise to do. It's coming out on Constant Contact on the email today as well. So actually right after this class, I'll go and send it. But it is public on YouTube with Dr. Brian Smuck and I. Okay, so inhale, like push in and then release, and that was probably about 10. And then just slowly let your arms come down and be heavy in your lap. And we're gonna just take the chin down and back up. Like, this does not have to be crazy. You're not trying to get, you don't have to go into your full range of motion, but you're just looking at, with the eyes closed. Well, you can leave your eyes open too if you want. And you're just going up and down. Again, we want to do this about 10 times. And then just come back to center. Take a few breaths with no action. Good. All right, the next pose that we're going to do is legs up the wall. And you can do legs up the wall with a bolster, without a bolster, whatever variation that you want to do. If you don't have a wall that's easy to access right now, you can put your legs up on your couch or up on a chair as well. Prefer straight legs, but if you can't, you can always do bent legs, okay? So I think everybody knows this pose because we're all been here for a while, but I will bring my bolster over and my yoga mat over to the wall to show you. If you know what you're doing and you don't need my assistance, please feel free to just go into the pose. We're going to hang out in this pose for at least 5 to 10 minutes. So remember, maybe you've forgotten, but you put your bolster one butt cheek away from the wall, and everybody's kind of different in regards to, the size of your butt cheek. And you sit so that the inner butt cheek is hanging off the bolster mostly, and the outer one is on the bolster. And then that just gives you the opportunity to flip your legs up the wall and come down. Now, if you again feel like, wow, this is just too much for me, you can go with blankets instead of a bolster. You can use a block instead of a bolster, and you can also, have something soft underneath your head. Arms are out to the sides like this, bent elbows preferred. You can have your arms up over your head like this, but don't have your fingers touching. And if you have access to something heavy, you can put it on top of your feet like a sandbag or a bag of rice. We're letting all the blood flow down into the abdomen. We're giving the heart and lungs a nice rest. And we're going to just hang out here for, like I said, 10 or 15, no, not 15 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, okay? So get comfy, make sure that you feel okay. In this pose, your tailbone should actually hang down on the opposite side of the bolster, and the pubic bone should be pointing away from your face so that you're getting actually a back bend. That's how it should be if you're using the bolster. Sometimes what happens is that people can't get close enough to the wall, and just do your best. But if you're fairly far away from the wall and you're not getting this, sort of back bend that happens in this pose, maybe it's better just to go flat on the floor. You decide though, or use a chair. I'm not sure what you guys can see in the camera here, but I'm going to come out now, but you guys stay in the pose. So that I can sort of talk you through this as well. I'll move us back to our original place. And again, as I said, if you don't have a chair, you don't have a couch or anything like that, you can also, another alternative is to take your block and put it underneath your sacrum and just have your legs going up. The main thing is to get the blood flowing downwards. At the wall, of course, you're not holding or gripping it or anything, so you cannot really allow your legs to relax. Okay, so those are the options. So again, we just want to think about the breath, focus on our breath as we're in this pose, and focus on letting go. Focus on just releasing any stress or tension, thoughts, emotions that you're holding on to, any negativity. Soft, slow, smooth inhalations, soft, slow, smooth exhalations. letting all stress and tension melt away. Inhaling that healing energy and letting go of all negativity, negative thoughts, emotions. You can just imagine the blood flowing down your legs and pooling in your abdomen, healing all your internal organs. Imagine your heart and lungs getting a nice rest from having to work so hard. You can also very slowly move your head from side to side, just keeping your focus on the back of your head, pushing into the floor just gently, moving so slowly, but feeling that with each movement, your range of motion is increasing. As you let go of stress and tension, the body moves more freely. So you allow your muscles to relax. There's not as much pull or stress on the bones and the joints. Slowly, slowly moving from side to side. Letting the head come back to the center. Just take a moment to feel and sense. Allow your face to relax and your jaw and your chin. If you have a bolster underneath your hips, you might want to push your feet into the wall, lift the hips, slide the bolster out, and then just be flat on the floor. If you were flat to begin with, or you have a block, do the same with a block. Just take it out and just take a minute to, or if you're using your legs up on a chair and a bolster, then remove the bolster. Continue to focus on your breath. Continue to focus on just letting go. As you exhale, just let everything go. So I'm going to think about coming out of the pose now. And so what I'd like you to do is bend your knees and roll over onto the side. And then when you're ready, come to sitting cross-legged again. Again, take a minute to sense and feel any tension or stress that you're holding in your body. We're going to do that pressing and releasing exercise again under the occipital bone. So in case you've forgotten from a few minutes ago, the fingers just come, and there's almost like you can tell there's a little bit of a hole there. We often carry a lot of tension in here, and if you were to pull up, you'll sort of feel that area in there. So you're going to press and hold for a second, and then just release, and then you press again. So we'll do that. Let's do that 10 times. So 1, release, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. And then you're going to take your hand and you're going to just rub from about the middle of your neck and then down. So you just like this, down your face. And you're going to do that, down towards your collarbones and down onto your chest, just like 8 times on one side. That's 8, and then 8 times on the other side. I want to do them both at the same time. It's like you're rubbing the side of your neck. Good, and I've got one more. So just at the, if you bend your elbow, right, here's the bone in your elbow, right here in this part of your arm. I just want you to tap that part of your arm. So you can go up and down, but it's this part that we want to work on right here. This releasing tension in the lower back. And we'll just tap that for a few minutes. And then we're going to do the other side. So just kind of find that spot when you bend your elbow. There's a soft part just in between, like there's the bone and then it's just soft in here. So kind of going to work whether this is an acupuncture point again. Good, and then just let your arms be heavy. Okay, we're going to come to standing next. We're going to standing, then we're going to do a few more actions lying down, and then we'll do a restorative pose to end today. So come on up to standing. And on this one here, this is a whole body release. And again, this is all about releasing to have a better sleep. What you're going to do is you're going to inhale, and as you lift up, you're going to sort of tense, you're going to bend your knees, but you're going to tense your upper body, and then you're going to exhale and relax. And then you lift up and you kind of tense everything, and then you release. And then you come up and release. Come up and release. Come up and release. Come up and release. A few more. And release. Okay, good. The next one is just an arm swing. So you're going to swing your arms from left to right. And you can go down low and let the arms. The whole point here is to let your arms be very heavy. You're not trying to work here. You're just letting them be heavy and you're swinging them from side to side. So this is good for tension in the neck and the shoulders. Swing them and let them be heavy. You can move your body in any way that helps you to do. I know I look pretty silly, but it's okay. Just swing them, okay? And then finding that hip width stance and just swinging your arms around and back. Again, let the arms be heavy, find good posture, and just swing back and forth. When you do this, you are hitting yourself in your back on the kidney point, which is all about chi and energy and releasing tension. Good. All right. And we're going to do one more little exercise. And what this is going to be is you're going to fold vertebrae by vertebrae down into a forward bend, connect abdomen to thighs, let your hands hang, and then you're going to come back up the opposite way. So upper body comes up first, and then you come back. Okay, so we're going down head first, abdomen on thigh. Now you come up, head comes up first, so you're coming up with a straight back. When you come up, you lift the breastbone, bring the arms back. Come down, inhale, exhale, inhale. There's no right or wrong here. You're not going to hurt yourself if you don't do it. But what I'm trying to say is that you do come up with a straight back. Your upper body comes up first, you open, and then you exhale, and you fold. Good. Now take your feet a little wider apart. Bend your knees. You must have bent knees. Grab your elbows and let your head drop. So kind of like a restorative pose. And then what I want you to do is just, you can either stay straight and in the middle, or you can shift your weight a little bit to side. You can leave your legs where they are and move your upper body. There's, again, lots of variations on how you might want to do this. Just let your body release. Good. We'll come up halfway and then all the way up to standing. Bring your arms up over your head. Get really nice and tall. And exhale your hands to the heart. Good. Now we're going to come into a forward bend again. And this time we're going to support not the forehead. The forehead is good if you're having tension headaches or migraines or whatever. We're going to do the top of the head because we want to, so we have to figure out what can I put the top of my head in. I'm not doing a really wide forward bend, but I'm not doing my legs together either. And a chair might work for the top of your head, or your blocks might work. Depends how tight your lower back is, how tight your hamstrings are. I want stability, so that's why I don't want the feet right close together. And your hands can go on the floor just to support you, but they shouldn't be tense. It should all, your shoulders and your neck should be relaxed. And then we're hanging out here and taking a couple breaths. We're not going to hang out here long. All right. And then slowly bring your head up and come all the way back up to standing and find Tadasana. Good. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is come back down onto the floor. And if you have your strap handy, bring your strap. If you don't need a strap for this pose, you don't need to use it. We're going to do a one-legged happy baby pose, okay? So if you're using your strap, it'll look something like this. Your right leg will be up, your ankle and your knee are in alignment. If you're having a hard time with your hamstrings today and your pelvis, your pubic bone is going towards your head, then you might need to bend this leg. Ideally, the leg is straight and you're pushing out into an imaginary wall and the pubic bone is going away from you. And then you push your strap down, you push your heel back up into the strap. Happy baby pose on the right side. You're going to release that, go to the left. And again, if you want to just use your hand, it's actually in some ways better to use your hand than the strap. Just do happy baby pose using your hand, but just make sure that you're not allowing, in this case, because we just relaxed the back, to your pubic bone to, come towards your head. So, in some ways, if you're compromising, you might be better off just to use the strap so that you you're not rounding in the lower back. Okay, so I'm pushing the strap down, pushing my foot back up. And then slowly release and bring both legs down. All right, so we're going to do a restorative twist. So if you don't have a bolster, then fold up 2 blankets, okay? Or whatever, if you're using beach towels or whatever, you want the towel to look like this. And then you'll take your second and put it on top. If you have a bolster, then you'll use the bolster. And the bolster will go, you're going to sit on your legs, shift your right hip to the floor, put the bolster, I'm going to turn a little bit on an angle so you can see, right at your right hip. Take both hands on the outside of your bolster, lengthen. So you should feel this in the abdominal area. You should feel like you're getting a stretch and you're moving things around, and then you're going to come down and lie on top of your bolster. If your neck is tight, you might not be able to turn your head away from your knees, and that's okay. So we're here. And then slowly come on up and change to the other side. So sit on your legs again. Bring your bolster to the left-hand side or your blankets. So you sit on your legs, shift your hips over to the left. Take your bolster right into the left hip. Take one hand on each side, rotate your chest towards the left so that you're lying over the bolster. Turn your head away if it feels good to do so. If your neck can't handle that, then just turn your head and face your knees. If it can, you're facing away. Good. And then slowly come up. So you have a choice of how you want to end today's practice. You can end in a restorative child's pose. We'll do a short shavasana at the end. So we might go a few minutes over here. So it could be this kind of putting your bolster or blankets or pillows and doing a child's pose. You could do a reverse child pose at the end. If you don't want that pose, you can reverse child pose means putting your legs up, your bolster underneath, right? If you don't have a bolster, just find a nice cushion from your couch. Actually, they're usually big enough and firm enough to just grab one off your couch, and then you can have your legs hanging over like this. So that's a reverse child pose, okay? And the other, this is the pose before Shavasana. So the other option is to do a Paschimottanasana, or a sitting forward bend. In order to do that, I would definitely sit on a blanket or two if you have any rounding in your lower back. This is, probably not advised for anybody who has a herniated disc in their back, but you're going to take a bolster, put it right up in and hang out here. And sometimes what I like to do is support my forehead. So it could look something like this with the forehead supported. That's your third option. Yeah, remember that forward bends are calming and releasing. So that's why you would choose that pose. But any of the three poses, and again, we'll stay in for a few minutes, then we'll have a short Shavasana. And it looks like we'll go a few seconds over. Okay, so any of those, I'm going to choose the child's pose variation as my option. Good also for digestion and releasing tension in the lower back. My earpiece is in the way, but you get the idea.
It's important to turn your head from side to side when you're in this pose. Make sure your bolster is right up into your belly, supporting your belly.
Feel free now to, if you're happy where you are, you can stay there. Maybe if you're in reverse child pose, you can stay there. If you're in Paschimottanasana or child's pose, then please come out and go into Shavasana. And I would recommend a Shavasana with as little props as possible. Just something soft underneath your head. I'd like to remind you to relax your feet. Actually tell them to relax or contract and release them. Relax your ankles. Relax your calves and shins. Relax your knees. Relax your thighs, your frontal thighs, your hamstrings. Relax your hip creases, your hips. Relax your lower back. your abdomen. Relax your rib cage. Relax your chest, your collarbones. Relax your shoulders, upper arms, elbows. Relax your forearms, your wrists. Relax your hands. Relax your face. Your eyes relax, let them sink back in their sockets. Relax your jaw, let your mouth relax, be slightly open. Relax your throat, perhaps take a swallow. Then you'll feel how your throat feels very relaxed after a swallow. And all the muscles in your body relax. All the bones and tendons and tendons all relax and fall towards the floor. Let them be heavy. And then let your skin relax. Just imagine your skin just draping over your bones and no tension in any area of your body. You've let it all go. You feel grounded and supported with the weight of your body on your yoga mat. You know that you are safe and secure, and that the upper body feels light and airy. Take a big inhalation. And on the exhalation, let any leftover stress or tension that you're holding be released. Let your eyes soften. Let your jaw release. Let yourself release into your support and just let every bit of tension or stress you're hanging on to go, so that you're just like a blob of relaxation lying on your yoga mat. That was not the greatest word to choose, but I think you get my drift. So before we come out of our Shavasana, just try to get this a feeling, a memory of what it feels like to be so relaxed and ready for sleep tonight. Then wiggle your fingers and your toes. So you get that memory of what it feels like to be relaxed, so that you can call it up at any time. You can, if you're in a you're somewhere and you need to relax, you can just say, yeah, I know what that feels like. There's where I want to go again. And as I said, wiggle your fingers and toes and stretch your arms up over your head. Point your toes and flex your feet and bring your hands down with a great big sigh. Bring your knees up towards your chest. Again, roll gently from side to side. And roll over onto your right side when you're ready. And then slowly come up to sitting. And bring your hands to your heart. Thank you very much for joining me through all these Mondays of lockdown and this whole session. Yeah, the whole year. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. And as I mentioned earlier, I will be away for most of the summer, but if I'm able to get Zoom up north, I will email everyone and say I'm doing a pop-up class. If I decide to come home for a few days or need to come home for a few days, I will do the same. So it'll be very spontaneous. We will be spontaneous, and whoever can make it can make it, and if not, that's all right. And I am preparing an email to send out to remind you to register again for September. I'm assuming that everyone here tonight will be coming back in September, and hopefully we'll be live back in the church, and everything will be fine, that we won't have to do restrictions and what have you in terms of space and what have you. So because we should be in by stage 3 or 4 by then. Anyways, I will keep in touch and I'll let you know what's going on. And again, thank you. Very grateful for all the nights that you've come and joined me here in my practice. Some of you are here tonight and Wednesday night. And if I don't talk to you personally, have a great summer. Enjoy this beautiful weather that we're having. And I hope you get to get away a little bit anyways. And namaste. As normal, I will turn the recording off, and then if anyone has any questions or comments, please feel free to ask them, as I will stick around. Okay, so we've got to go here.